before we get into what to eat, how much to eat, etc., is I want to cover what results to expect, because this can actually, your understanding of this can actually influence how your food intake and that kind of thing. So what results to expect? The first thing is I suppose a lot of people think that when we exercise we burn fat, or when we go on a diet we burn fat, and kind of on a very surface level, yes, that may happen, but that's not actually what's really happening. What happens is when we go on a diet and restrict energy coming in, or when we do some exercise and increase the amount of energy we're putting out, what we're doing is we're trying to create an energy deficit in the body. Fat is stored energy. And so in order to burn that fat, you're essentially trying to create a demand for more energy in the body by putting less in than you're burning off. So you're to really understand it on an energy point of view rather than a fat point of view, because a lot of people think, I can do fat burning exercise, or if I eat a low fat food or a diet food, this will make me lose weight. But it's not. It'll only help you lose weight if you actually create an energy deficit, a demand for more energy. So the only reason we burn fat is for more energy. Essentially, you've burnt off more than you've put in, and your body has excess energy stores in the form of fat on your body, and your body uses that to make up the difference, essentially. So in order, you've got to create this energy demand, and which essentially means you've got to consume less than you burn off. And I prefer to say it this way, consume less than burn off, rather than burn off more than we consume, because it's very difficult to burn off the amount we need. It's much easier to consume less to create this deficit. So for example, if somebody ate 2,000 calories a day and they burnt off 2,500 calories a day, they would lose 500 calories of energy, essentially. Multiply that by 7, and that's 3,500 calories over the course of a week. 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories worth of stored energy. Okay, it's really important to kind of understand this for the results to expect. Because essentially, when you're saying I'd like to lose X amount of pounds, in essence, what you're saying is I'd like to create an energy demand for this amount of calories. Or to understand that in order to lose that 1 pound of fat, you have to consume 3,500 fewer calories than you've burned off over the course of, let's say, a week, if that was the case. So looking at how much we actually burn off is your overall daily calories that you burn on a day-to-day basis. The amount of energy that your body needs to function essentially is split up into different sections. So the first one, the big blue one, 70% of it is pretty much set. You're not really going to be able to influence this. It's called your base metabolic rate. So essentially, if you lay in bed all day and did nothing, no movement or anything like that, the majority of the energy you need is to keep you alive on a daily basis, to keep you breathing, to keep all your organs functioning, to keep your brain going, etc. So that's your base metabolic rate. Then if we look at the red neat is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So thermogenesis just means creation of heat, or basically production of energy. Okay, so essentially it's all your non-purposeful exercise activity. So you get up, you have a shower, you brush your teeth, you blah blah blah, all that little type of movement. Even if you're sitting down and you're jittering, you're fidgeting, that kind of thing. It's all contributing about 15% of your overall daily intake or daily output is via neat non-exercise activity. The next one then, the green one, is the thermic effect of food, which is essentially how much energy it costs to digest your meals. Roughly about 10% of your daily intake or your daily output will be actually used for your digestion. And then finally is eat, which doesn't actually mean eat food, it means exercise activity thermogenesis. So about 5% of our overall energy expenditure is used up when we exercise. That's all it is. It's a tiny, tiny amount. So trying to do loads of exercise to lose weight, or trying to do loads of exercise, fat burning exercise and blah, 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 you're going to make a tiny, tiny, tiny little dent in your overall output. So that's what I say is like kind of trying to burn off way more energy is futile, because it's just very very hard to do, even if you do train 6 or 7 days a week or whatever. So when we look at, this is kind of important then to kind of understand that it really comes down to the energy inside of things, is how much we're actually putting in. And we look at when we're trying to lose weight, essentially we're trying to increase the demand for energy, so we tap into our energy stores, our fat stores. So 1 pound of fat, like I said, is 3,500 calories. So if you split that over 7 days, it's 500 fewer calories a day to put in. If you wanted to lose 2 pounds a week, that would be 7,000 calories over the course of a week, which would be putting in 1,000 fewer calories a day. And 3 pounds is up to 1,500 calories fewer a day. So one of the things is to realize is like, yes, you can lose more weight than this, in a week or whatever like that, even overnight and that kind of thing. But not all weight loss, as I kind of explained before, weight loss or gain on a scales, not all of it is fat. It's fluid balance, it's water weight, and you'll kind of see difference in fluctuations and things like that. So yes, someone can lose 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds in a week, but they're not losing that amount of fat in a week. So when it comes to results to expect, is looking at a very basic, easy formula to remember is between 0.5% to 1% of your body weight per week is a good goal for you to set. So if someone weighed 200 pounds, half a percent of their body weight per week is 1 pound, and a full percentage of their body weight per week would be 2 pounds per week. So that's essentially what I'd recommend you to aim for. And not only to aim for, is to be happy with, because there is a cost of weight loss. There's a cost of getting results, and obviously there's an even greater cost of trying to get fast results. So the question is, if you wanted to lose, if you weighed, let's say 200 pounds in this case, or less or more, whatever, but in order to lose 2 pounds a week, you've got to essentially drop 1,000 calories per day. So my question to you is, are you willing to do it, and are you able to do it? So in terms of the cost, well, you're going to get increased hunger. By dropping that amount of calories per day, your body's going to be noticeably hungrier. Your energy levels are probably going to drop initially, because even though you're dropping that 1,000 calories per day, your body's probably not used to being able to burn that amount of stored fat a day. So you're essentially not making up the difference. So it's not as if, it's just a like for like swap or whatever like that. So energy levels will probably be lower. You get poor concentration, poor brain power. So remember I said your base metabolic rate, keeps your brain functioning, keeps all your organs going. If you're putting in way less energy, essentially you've got less energy for, important functions of the body. And like on low moods and stuff like that. So, we all know the word hunger and that kind of thing. So again, that's what I'm saying, is like the cost of fast results. So like, are you willing to suffer through these kind of things for an extra pound a week or whatever? And then finally there's a metabolic adjustment, i.e. that if you're putting in a lot less calories per day on a regular basis, your body is going to adjust your metabolism to kind of match what you're putting in. And it's been shown to happen in different people in different rates. Some studies have shown literally within 7 days of going on a diet, the metabolism adapts and basically just matches output to input. So if you put in only 1,000 calories a day, your body's going to go, right, I'm only going to give you 1,000 calories a day. So important to realize the cost of striving for faster and faster results, but also is to realize that you, in order to accept the results that you're getting. So if you're dropping, a pound and a half a week at 200 pounds weight, that's pretty good going, because especially if you're not feeling all of this, that you're feeling fairly good on it, which means that you can make this way more consistent. Now, absolutely, you can push harder, and some people do, and they drop, ridiculous amounts of calories. They go on crazy diets and stuff like that. But generally they can only stick with that for a very short period of time, and then they go off the diet. And because they're so extreme, they don't have a middle ground to settle at, which means that they put all the weight back on. Okay, so if you've ever gone on these kind of types of, and again, it's like I spoke in the last video, it's not even about what may sound radically extreme or anything like that. But if we cut entire food groups out of our diet, or try follow some like cabbage soup diet, these kind of type of things, where essentially the only reason they're so effective is because they cut a huge amount of energy, a huge amount of calories out of the day. It's those type of diets lead us to believe that we can get sustainable fast results, but it's not. We can either get those super fast results, i.e. 3, 4, 5 pounds in a week type of thing, on a very short-term basis, which generally leads to a rebound in weight gain anyway, or we want to do it the sensible, smart way and look at cutting 500 calories a day, something that's way more sustainable, but that the goal of this, what I'm kind of going to show you over the course of these coming weeks, is that it's not going to feel like you're on this restrictive diet, that you're actually going to feel good while doing it, which means that you're going to be able to do it for a hell of a lot longer than just a 3-week quick fix kind of, I need to lose as much weight as possible or whatever. Even beyond this course, you'll have these foundational knowledge and foundational way of eating that tips away at your weight and gets you to the weight that you need to be at in a long-term sustainable way. And then there's no such thing as, oh, thank God I finished my diet, now I go on a binge. There's none of that, because we're going to kind of work with it as a more, as I said, sustainable approach. So as I said, I wanted to go through that to make sure that you have a grasp of this. And then we'll kind of go through is, okay, well then how do we structure our diet? What do we eat? How much do we eat? And stuff like that. Because it all directly links to what sort of results are you willing to push for? Do you know what I mean? If you're happy with, up to a pound a week, you only need to create a 500 calorie deficit. If you want to be kind of looking at 2 or 3 pounds a week, you're going to have to push, way higher than that. And again, like I said, is that may be way more unsustainable. So, next video will be kind of more focused on portion sizes, what to eat, that kind of thing. So any questions in the meantime, do let me know.